This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. We begin with breaking news out of Washington, D.C. on this Friday, where Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, holding that there is no longer a federal constitutional right to an abortion. The U.S. Supreme Court has reversed course on nearly 50 years of the established law. The High Court's conservative majority overturned Roe v. Wade, returning the issue of abortion rights to the states and territories, where a patchwork of policies is already rolling out. Skylar Henry has more from outside of the court.
Demonstrators against abortion rights erupted in cheers after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. The mood outside the court highly charged with the release of the much-anticipated ruling.
We don't want to hear cheers about women being slammed back to the dark ages and all of society slammed backwards.
The conservative majority court sided with the state of Mississippi and its supporters in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization. With their case, Mississippi officials asked the High Court to eliminate the constitutional right to abortion first established in 1973.
This decision is a victory for the pro-life movement and for the generations of Americans who never gave up hope.
President Biden spoke out following the decision.
Now, with Roe gone, let's be very clear. The health and life of women in this nation are now at risk.
According to the Guttmacher Institute, which supports abortion rights, an estimated 26 states were either certain or likely to ban abortion if the High Court overturned or dismantled Roe. The decision here today is the outcome of decades-long lobbying by groups against abortion rights. The appointment of 3 conservative justices during the Trump administration made it a sudden reality.
We've been knowing this was going to go down since Kavanaugh.
The watershed ruling follows an unprecedented leak of a draft majority opinion that sparked protests, including some outside justices' homes. The leak has impacted the High Court from the inside out. Chief Justice John Roberts has ordered a full investigation. Today, Roberts did not join the 5 conservative justices or 3 liberals. He said, in his own opinion, he would have stopped short of ending the right to abortion. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
30 to 55 years in prison. That's how much time federal prosecutors think convicted sex trafficker and abuser Ghislaine Maxwell should sit in jail for her role in Jeffrey Epstein's sexual abuse of young girls over the course of a decade. Prosecutors laid out their reasoning in a sentencing memo filed this past Wednesday after Maxwell's attorneys asked for a significantly lighter sentence because of her, quote, difficult and traumatic childhood, pointing to her claim that she's wrongfully being held responsible for Epstein's crimes. But prosecutors called those arguments both absurd and offensive, calling Maxwell the key to Epstein's entire operation of sexually abusing teenage girls over a 10-year period. The 60-year-old is set to be sentenced in federal court this coming Tuesday. A St. Croix man spent nearly a year and a half in a hospital from injuries he suffered allegedly at the hands of his nephew. He died from those injuries earlier this year, and now his nephew is sitting in a St. Croix prison charged with his murder. This week, Virgin Islands police traveled to Boston, Massachusetts to bring 42-year-old Nesto Monell back to St. Croix to face charges including first-degree murder and assault. The charges stem from a September 2020 incident when police were called to a home in Constitution Hill Christiansted for a man who was found unconscious outside of his home. The investigation revealed that victim, 70-year-old Abraham Ortiz, and his nephew, the man seen on your screen, got into an argument. Police say Monell followed Ortiz home and attacked him, an assault that left Mr. Ortiz with a severe head injury. He was airlifted to a Florida hospital where he remained under medical care until he died from his injuries in January of this year. Monell fled the territory, but Virgin Islands police tracked him down in Boston, and at an extradition hearing on Wednesday, Monell was turned over to VIPD and returned to St. Croix, where he's sitting in prison for the alleged murder of his uncle under a $1 million bond. A St. Croix woman's arrested for allegedly stealing credit card information, then going on a shopping spree. This week, detectives from VIPD's Economic Crimes Unit arrested 29-year-old Naidee McIntosh. She's charged with fraudulent use of a credit card, access to computer for fraudulent purposes, and grand larceny. Back in February, investigators say McIntosh took a picture of a man's Bank of St. Croix credit card and made several online purchases totaling $8,370, doing all of this without his permission, according to police. She was sent to prison with bail set at $20,000. A big day this Thursday on St. Croix for the grand opening of the new Gordon A. Finch Molasses Pier cargo facility. Many attending a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the Crouse Lagoon less than 2 years after its groundbreaking ceremony in July of 2020. It marks the completion of the first phase of the Gallows Bay Port Transformation Project, converting the port from mixed-use passenger and cargo facility to an upscale ferry, mini cruise, and yacht seaport. Significant improvements were made to the dock at the Molasses Pier over the last 2 years. It is named after Gordon A. Finch, who served as the Port Authority's director from 1991 until 2002. He was on hand for Thursday's ceremonies. All cargo activities will be relocated from Gallows Bay and Christiansted to this new pier in Crouse Lagoon. Construction of the new facility and dock upgrades cost about $22 million, about half of which was from federal grant monies. A lot of excitement in the territory for that grand opening on Thursday. And as we end the week, COVID-19 cases remain steady. They have gone up, though, just a bit on all islands. Health officials are currently tracking 219 active COVID-19 cases territory-wide, with 144 active cases right now on St. Croix, 72 on St. Thomas, and 3 on St. John. Several NFL coaches, players, and talent have kicked off camp in the territory. They're bringing knowledge and expertise to USVI athletes through a football camp called The Factory. Our Allie Bourne-Vanek has the details.
Hey, what's up? This is Allie Bourne-Vanek. We are at the Factory Football Camp and Combine. We have some of the top NFL players and coaches here sharing everything they know with youth here in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
First, giving honor to God, who the Most High, head of my life. I'm DeLorean Walls, owner of Tobono Consulting there in the States. It's such a blessing to be able to come back and give our youth, our family, our young men and young women a vision, to knowing that they, through perseverance, through hard work, and create some great student athletes as well as great young men and young women. It starts right here at the factory.
We've got about 20-25 kids that are participating. They're very excited. They've been putting in a whole lot of work, been giving a whole lot of effort. We've even had to slow them down. So we're just excited to have them out here, excited to have the guys out here and that came down here to participate as well.
So far it's been going good. You know, coming out of a basketball way to play football is really good. They've been teaching me like a bunch of different stuff, a bit different routes, different positions, and coming out as a goal as well amongst all these boys. I have to stay motivated, keep my head up. Even if I mess up a little bit, I have to make sure I get back on the right track.
There is so much more action here at the Factory Football Camp and Combine. Dreams are literally being made out here. This is a phenomenal opportunity and experience for all the youth who have these big football dreams. Shout out to all the staff and everybody who has made this possible. Let we go.
Wow, what a great opportunity for those kids. Highway signs commemorating the University of South Carolina Women's Basketball National Championship are unveiled. Gamecocks head coach Don Staley helped do the honors to reveal the signs, which take note of the Gamecock Women's Championship this year, as well as the 2017 national title. 15 of the signs have started going up all around South Carolina, specifically, though, in Columbia. The signs will be displayed at welcome centers on interstates near the South Carolina border, too. The championship signs will be installed at all the locations by July 1st, and they'll stay up for 2 years. Of course, Virgin Islands native Leah Boston, National Player of the Year, was a big part of the team's success. And you'll remember Leah Boston has a sign reveal of her own in the VI earlier this month on a Leah Boston Day in the territory. They had a big sign reveal on St. Thomas. It's one of the first things visitors and VI residents have been seeing when they arrive at the Cyril E. King Airport in St. Thomas. The sign is made possible by several agencies, including the Department of Sports, Parks, and Recreation and Government House, a permanent way to recognize her for her success and know the Virgin Islands supports all of Leah Boston's future endeavors. And speaking of successful and talented USVI athletes, Michelle Smith was greeted with a hero's welcome earlier this week when she returned home after winning the gold medal in the girls' 400-meter hurdles with an amazing time of 59.56 at the Adidas Outdoor Nationals Girls Championship in Greensboro, North Carolina. These pictures are courtesy of Government House. The Department of Sports, Parks, and Recreation made sure Michelle knew how proud the territory is of her and her success. Smith is currently ranked number 2 in the world in the under-18 400-meter hurdles. That is pretty impressive indeed. So her proud parents, family, friends, and teammates from the St. Croix Mustangs Track Club greeted her when she returned home this Tuesday night. And get this, Smith is going to receive a $5,000 sponsorship from the Department of Sports, Parks, and Recreation when she leaves to compete in the 2022 World Athletics U20 Championships in Cali, Colombia next month. Congratulations. Wow. It's going to be fun to watch all her success, too, in the future.